Belair and Mr. Belair. The topic of this debate is that corflute posters used during elections in South Australia should be banned. The Affirmative team, sitting to my right, is from Belair Primary School. The Negative team, sitting to my left, is from Nazareth College. The speaking time for this debate is 3 minutes. A single warning bell will sound 1 minute before the speaking time, and a double bell will sound at the speaking time. Please ensure that your mobile phones are switched off. I declare this debate open and call upon the first affirmative speaker, Quinn Nettlefold. Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that corflute posters used during elections in South Australia should be banned. We define the topic as corflute posters, a large printed sign used to advertise a candidate or party's name, face, slogan or catchphrase, made of polypropylene, a fluted plastic, used to be employed for a purpose throughout the duration of South Australia, a state in the southern central part of Australia. Elections, formal and organised choice by vote of a person for a political office or other position. Should, a desirable action to take, banned to be prohibited. We, the Affirmative team, believe this statement to be patently true. Tonight, as the first speaker, I will talk to you about how corflute posters have a negative impact on the environment and how they are used as a canvas for smear campaigns. Our second speaker will be talking about how corflutes can be unfair for candidates who don't have as much money and how they cause distractions for drivers. Our third speaker will rebut and sum up our team case. Now to my first point. Corflutes have a negative impact on the environment. According to the World Wildlife Fund, almost all plastic is derived from fossil fuels and creates greenhouse gases at every stage in its life cycle. The ABC stated that although some are recyclable, many political corflutes get damaged or destroyed and end up in the trash. According to Cosmos, corflute's polypropylene content makes it a tricky plastic to recycle industrially, and the World Wildlife Fund stated, Australia lacks much of the technology and infrastructure necessary to recycle and process large volumes of plastic. Furthermore, if a candidate standing for an election was promoting policies about combating climate change and pollution, using plastic corflutes would be hypocritical. This is only one significant reason why corflutes should be banned. Now to my second point. Corflute posters are often used for smear campaigns. A smear campaign is an effort to damage or call into question someone's reputation by putting forward negative propaganda. Smear campaigns undermines Australia's democracy. As David Pocock, an independent, said, electoral campaigns are sometimes deliberately designed to mislead voters, using false information to exaggerate things being said in electoral debates. This shows how corflute posters are an example of an ad hominem fallacy in action. It is clear that corflute posters are used to unfairly target candidates. So, in conclusion, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, we, the Affirmative team, believe that based on the negative environmental effects and use in smear campaigns, corflute posters used during elections in South Australia should be banned. Thank you. upon the first negative speaker, Anna Cole.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that corflute posters used during elections in South Australia should be banned. We agree with the definition given by the Affirmative team. However, we, the negative team, believe and I regard this statement as false. The first Affirmative speaker said, "These posters are bad for the environment." This is wrong because these posters can be reused in a variety of different ways. This includes creating new signs and placing them in beehives to keep them dry and cool, according to glenario.gov. Today, as the first negative speaker, I will be speaking to you about the identity and relationship the poster helps with, and I will be speaking to you about the material of these posters and how they're reusable and durable. Our second speaker will be talking about affordability of these posters and also about the self-promotion and advertising. Our third speaker will sum up our team case. My first point is that these posters have a major effect on identity and relationship. Identity is a major part because they have their name, face, and the group they're representing always on the poster. And those things we recognise as their identity. Having posters of them for the election shows the public their identity. And identity is an important part in a relationship. It puts a name to the face. And a poster is an outstanding way for politicians to show their identity. My second point is that corflute is reusable and durable material. corx.com.au, that is a supplier of these election posters for all of Australia, states corflute material has a 30% longer lifespan than any ordinary poster. These posters can also easily last up to 2 years. And corflute is highly weather resistant and chemical resistant. And surprisingly, corflute is made from 100% propylene, which is 100% recyclable. So you don't have to worry about these election posters affecting our environment. ABC.net states that after the election, many homeless people use these posters to build small structures because corflute is 100% waterproof, keeping them protected from any wet weather. Corflute posters can also be used to make extremely useful signs by being painted over with chalkboard paint. After these posters have been painted over, people can use to write with them with markers. They're especially useful and effective for school events and clubs. An example for this reusing solution is on the website greens.org.au. The Greens are a political group that has a reputation for trying to enforce a zero waste goal in South Australia. If this powerful political group agrees with these posters being used, why shouldn't we? This political group has done proper scientific research, then why shouldn't we agree with them? So in conclusion, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, the corflute posters used during South Australia elections. Thank you.
I call upon the second affirmative speaker, Eben Bloom.
Good evening, Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that corflute posters used in elections in South Australia should be banned. We, the Affirmative team, undisputedly agree with this statement. However, the first speaker on the negative team has tried to tell you that corflutes can be recycled. This may be true. However, according to the Cosmos magazine, corflute's polypropylene content makes it a tricky plastic to recycle industrially, as the World Wildlife Fund stated, Australia lacks most of the technology and infrastructure necessary to recycle and process large volumes of plastic. The first speaker on the negative team has also tried to tell you that corflutes are important for showing identity. This is wrong because, according to Vicky Chapman, corflute posters do little to educate voters about a candidate or a platform on their platform. Candidates also send out pamphlets and brochures to citizens regularly and make appearances on free-to-air radio and television to educate what they are and what they stand for. And now to my arguments. My first point is that not banning corflutes would be unfair to the candidates who do not have as much money. The reason for this is because candidates such as independents and minor parties have less money to spend on corflutes than major parties such as Liberal or Labor. According to the Australian government, in the 2019 election, all of the independents combined only raised 3/5 of the money that the Liberal Party spent. This means that corflutes are unfair to many minor candidates, leading to them being downtrodden and unknown by much of the population. According to David Spears, the current leader of the Liberal Party, there is a need to level the playing field so there is an adequate amount of information on each candidate. Secondly, corflute posters cause distraction to drivers. According to the Queensland Department of Industries and Transport, posters and signs on the side of the road can cause distractions on the road. They also state that this can often cause more road accidents, resulting in more fatalities. According to the Department of Transport, posters and corflute signs can compete with other signs, causing confusion amongst drivers. This also poses a risk of distraction to other road users, causing more distracted driving, which, as also according to the Department of Transport, is a major cause of road accidents. As David Spears once surveyed the residents of his electorate, most residents agreed that corflute posters on the side of the road were nothing less than visual pollution, causing distractions not only to drivers but also other road users. This means by banning corflute posters, there would be a noticeable drop in the amount of fatal road accidents. So in conclusion, Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen, it is evident that corflute posters used in elections in South Australia should be banned. Thank you.
I now call upon the second negative speaker, Amy Link-Black.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that corflute posters used during elections in South Australia should be banned. However, we, the negative team, undeniably regard this statement as false. The second speaker of the affirmative team has tried to tell you that too many corflute posters are created. This is wrong because if the problem is the overload of posters, shouldn't a law be enforced of the number of posters that can be put up? Why ban corflute when there are many other different materials? Hence, this solution most definitely won't work. They also said that corflute posters are too hard to recycle. This is wrong because according to Corix.com, you can recycle corflute posters at Corix Recycling. ABC.net states that corflute posters can be recycled by keeping beehives cool and dry. Our first speaker has already stated that seeing the poster will create a beginning relationship between the politician and the voter, and how corflute posters can be reused. I will be discussing 2 points. My first point is that corflute posters are a form of self-promotion. Over the past years, South Australian candidates and political groups have utilised corflute posters as a way of self-advertising. Corflute posters are visually appealing with bright, colourful printing, according to KiwiCakeCopy.com, and is waterproof, meaning it is suitable for outdoor advertising. As stated by icpsr.umich.edu, seeing a candidate's picture helps the voters form images in their minds about their abilities and characteristics. Therefore, corflute posters are a form of self-advertisement. Now to my second point. Corflute posters are an affordable choice for large and particularly small political parties. Small political groups do not always have access to a large amount of money. PVC, aluminum, composite, paperboard, vinyl, and corflute are all diverse types of posters as stated by printgraphicsdisplays.com. But the most affordable option is corflute. The quality and the price of corflute is quite exceptional, and according to signmakeronline.com, corflute posters can last for an average of 2 to 3 years inside and outside. Hence, corflute posters are affordable for all and must not be banned. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, the very thought of banning corflute posters during elections in South Australia is outrageous due to the fact that they are sustainable, suitable for candidates in affordability, and how corflute posters are a way of self-promotion. Thank you.
Upon the third affirmative speaker, Daphne Lynn.
Good evening, Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that corflute posters used during elections in South Australia should be banned. We, the Affirmative team, believe that this statement is conclusively true. The first speaker on the negative team has tried to tell you that corflutes can be reused. This is wrong because, according to the ABC, although some are reused, many political corflutes end up damaged or destroyed and end up in the trash. The first speaker on the negative team has also tried to tell you that corflutes are important for showing identity. This is wrong because, according to Vicky Chapman, plastic corflutes do little to educate voters about a candidate and their platform. Candidates also send out pamphlets and brochures to citizens regularly and make appearances on free-to-air radio and television to educate them on who they are and what they stand for. The first speaker on the negative team has tried to tell you that corflutes can be recycled. According to the Cosmos magazine, when corflute signs are recycled, they emit toxic fumes that can cause cancer, requiring PPE and ventilation. Corflute signs are also made from plastic, which is energy intensive and requires fossil fuels to make. Recycling is also energy intensive and often requires them to be shipped to China. And according to the ABC, as China doesn't accept any imported recycling anymore, recycling will prove a logistical challenge. The first speaker on the negative team has tried to tell you that corflutes are durable. While this may be true, plastic corflutes are only ever used during the 4 weeks before the election, so they do not need to be able to last for so long. In fact, according to the World Wildlife Fund, plastic takes many hundreds of years to break down, if ever. The second speaker on the negative team has tried to tell you that we should just put a limit on the number of corflutes. This is wrong because if we only reduce the amount of corflutes or put a cap on the number of them, the Electoral Commission will have no way of enforcing the amount of corflutes. Did you know that according to the Local Government Association, where election signs are posted on poles adjacent to footpaths or roadways, such signs must not be lower than 2 metres and must be a maximum of 3 metres from the ground. In past elections, there have been many corflutes in non-compliance with this. However, there's been no enforcement of this rule. The second speaker on the negative team has tried to tell you that corflutes are cost-effective. According to the Adelaide East Herald, a cardboard sign on Belair Road survived the entire 4 weeks of electoral campaign, meaning that there are better alternatives to plastic corflute posters. Our first speaker spoke to you about how plastic corflutes used during South Australian elections have a negative impact on the environment through climate change and pollution. She also spoke about how corflutes can be used as a canvas for smear campaigns and unkind messages that are deliberately designed to mislead voters. Our second speaker told you about how the use of corflutes gives an unfair advantage to major parties and candidates who have significantly more resources compared to minor parties and independents. He also informed you about how corflutes cause major distractions to drivers, which can lead to road accidents and even cause fatalities. So, Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, it is without a doubt that the use of corflute posters during South Australian elections should definitely be banned. And remember, be fantastic and do something drastic to cut the plastic. Thank you.
Upon the third negative speaker, Mika Shortly.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that corflute posters used during elections in South Australia should be banned. We, the negative team, undeniably disagree with this statement. The first speaker of the affirmative team has tried to tell you that corflute posters are bad for the environment. While corflute posters are made from plastic, they can easily be reused and recycled. You can easily recycle these posters at Corex Recycling, and they recycle these posters here in Australia. You can also reuse these posters by simply painting over them to make new signs that can be used for sporting events and school events. And these posters can also be used to make waterproof homeless shelters and placed in beehives to keep them cool. The first speaker has also tried to tell you that corflute posters are too hard to recycle. This is wrong because according to corex.com.au, you can recycle these posters at corex.com and they are very easy to do so. All you have to do is drop it there. The first and second speaker have also tried to tell you that the candidates can just advertise on social media and using brochures and pamphlets. Well, 41% of the population does not have any access to any social media platforms according to sitesinsmart.com. How will they find any of the vital information about the candidates for the election if they are not able to see their candidates' images? And according to icpsr.umich.edu.au, that states that seeing a candidate's picture helps the voters to form images in their mind about their abilities and characteristics. This means that anyone and everyone should be able to easily access and see the pictures of the candidates of the election, no matter their privileges. Our first speaker of the
negative team has already spoken to you and correctly informed you about how corflute posters are extremely durable and how seeing a corflute poster can help voters living in South Australia to form a relationship with the candidate. Our second negative speaker has already correctly informed you about how corflute posters are extremely suitable for candidates because of affordability and how using corflute posters are a way of self-promotion. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, corflute posters are a great and affordable way of advertising the candidates running in South Australia. These corflute posters are extremely durable and cost-effective, and a cost-effective signage solution for self-promotion. These posters are also environmentally friendly as they can easily be reused recycled at Corex Recycling. So why should we take down these incredibly useful and important signs from elections if they have a major help to the voting public and the environment? Thank you.
No.
That's mine.
Yeah.
I invite a representative of the education panel to come forward and announce the result.
First of all, congratulations to both teams on making it to the quarterfinals and for such an entertaining debate. It was really close, as we all had decided, and it was just really great to see such a high amount of effort and preparation evident from all teams here. As each of the 3 adjudicators here arrived at our decisions independent of the others, there is regrettably no individual speaker feedback. Today's decision was unanimous. The majority of the panel thought that one team had more compelling arguments and just slightly better rebuttal overall. And for this reason, this debate has been awarded to the affirmative team. Moving to the Speaker of the Night Award. Tonight this goes to Daphne Lynn for overall